Every whisper behind your back, every hex they cast, every slanderous word, they believed it would crush you. But they are just putting themselves in an early grave for what they did to you. The hands that tried to pull you under are the same. Hands clawing at their own throats now. You felt it, didn't you? The shift, the weight lifting, the unnatural tension that once clung to your spirit, gone. Because the pit they dug has collapsed inward, and they are choking on the dust. The unseen realm doesn't forget. It doesn't forgive. You were marked, for destruction, but the divine stood in front of you like an immovable force. Every blow they sent passed through you like smoke and returned sharpened. They can feel it now, the pressure, the unraveling. The creeping realization that every dark thing they sent your way is hunting them instead. The whispers they spread, coming back as rumors they can't silence. The traps they set, snapping shut around their own ankles. The spells, the curses, the evil intentions. It's in their reflection now. It's in their breath. It's in the way their hands shake when they think no one is watching. The weight of it all is pressing down, and they know. This isn't random. This isn't a coincidence. This is justice. They underestimated you. You weren't just some ordinary target. You are a chosen one. And that means you walk with forces they will never comprehend. They thought they were playing with fire, but they were standing inside the storm. The worst part for them, they can't stop it. They can't run from it. They can't pray their way out of it. They can't undo what they started. Because the instant they sent destruction your way, they sealed their own fate. You don't even have to lift a finger. This war has already been won. They thought they could rewrite your story. Every lie they spun was a thread in their web, carefully placed woven tight. They whispered in secret, planted seeds of doubt, shaped reality to their liking. They thought they were clever, thought they were in control. But you never had to fight their lies. You never had to defend yourself, because truth needs no defense. It stands on its own. That web they spun so meticulously, it's unraveling. The weight of their own deception is too heavy to carry. The people who once listened, who once nodded in agreement, who once believed their version of events, are starting to see the cracks. Something doesn't add up. The timelines are inconsistent. The stories contradict themselves. The mask they wore so effortlessly is slipping. You never had to expose them. They did that all on their own. Lies demand upkeep. They require constant attention, endless cover-ups, more deception to sustain the illusion. But they got sloppy, and the ones who cheered them on, they're backing away now, shaking their heads, realizing they were nothing but pawns in a petty, vindictive game. The ones who once turned their backs on you are now silent, watching, wondering how they got fooled. Their words, once so sharp, so calculated, now sound desperate. They're defending themselves from shadows. They're chasing ghosts. They're talking in circles, trying to patch the holes in a sinking ship. The lies they spun were meant to imprison you, but now they're the ones trapped in their own words, trapped in their own contradictions, trapped in a reality of their own making, one that's caving in from every side. And the most terrifying part, no one believes them anymore. They dug a hole so deep, so dark, so consuming, and in their arrogance they forgot one thing. The truth always rises. You are free. They fed off the obsession, convinced that if they just tried harder, if they just dug deeper, if they just hit you where it hurt, you would finally break. But they never saw it. The slow decay, the rot spreading from the inside out. Because while they were watching you, you weren't watching them. You were living, growing, thriving. And them, they were unraveling. The late nights spent crafting new ways to sabotage you turned into restless, haunted hours of paranoia. The Energy they poured into ruining you became the very poison seeping into their own foundation. The people they tried to turn against you, they're noticing the cracks in their mask now. They couldn't see past you. Every win you had was a slap in the face. Every moment you stood tall was a reminder that their efforts weren't working. So they pushed harder, made reckless decisions, burned bridges they couldn't rebuild, took risks they weren't prepared to pay for, and one by one, the pieces of their life started crumbling. The job, tension in the workplace, rumors swirling, opportunities slipping away, the relationships, strained, exhausted, breaking under the weight of their obsession. The money, vanishing because desperation is expensive and they spent everything chasing your downfall. But the worst part? They still think about you. Even now, even as their world caves in, they still watch, still wait, still wonder why none of it worked. Why you're still standing, why you're still smiling, why after everything you remain untouched while they're the ones drowning. They thought they were playing a game of destruction, but the only person they destroyed was themselves. You walked away without a scratch. You've seen it before, the weight in their eyes, the tension in their jaw, the way their hands shake when they think no one is looking. They swore they were untouchable, but the body never lies. Their skin looks dull, their energy is drained, and no matter how hard they try to keep up appearances, the truth is written all over them. The sleepless nights, the paranoia, the stress of keeping up with their own deception, it's eating them alive. They thought they were playing a game of control, but the body keeps score. Every dark intention, every whispered curse, every sleepless night spent obsessing over you, it's all collecting interest. And the debt is being paid in sickness. They look in the mirror and barely recognize themselves. The weight loss, the unexplained aches, the sudden migraines that feel like something is clawing at their skull. Doctors can't explain it, medication won't fix it, because this isn't just stress. It's the consequence of waging war against someone divinely protected. Their body is rejecting them. The same hands they used to scheme against you now tremble with weakness. The same voice they used to spread lies now cracks from exhaustion. The same mind they used to plot your downfall now torments them with visions they can't escape. Some of them have even been given a timeline, 6 months, maybe 9, before their body fully betrays them. They feel it creeping in. The fatigue that won't go away. The tightness in their chest that doctors call anxiety, but they know it's something worse. The sense that something is watching them, something waiting to collect the debt. They thought they were in control, but they can't control this. They set the trap. They are the ones decaying inside of it. You don't even have to lift a finger. The divine is handling it for you. They thought money could destroy you. They threw everything they had into making sure you failed. Paid for spells. Bought loyalty. Funded smear campaigns like a business investment. They believed it was a small price to watch you fall. But the universe doesn't accept dirty currency without interest. Now, the debt is due. The money they used to ruin you has turned to ash in their hands. Their accounts are empty. Their businesses are failing. Their income is drying up like water in the desert. The same people they paid to tear you down, gone. The loyalty they bought was temporary. When they need help, no one is picking up their calls. The collectors are at their door. The bills are piling up, suffocating them. The credit cards are maxed out, and the interest is climbing. The unpaid debts they ignored, they're coming back with force. Everything they invested in your downfall has flipped on them. The rituals they paid for, now they're the ones who feel cursed. The slander they spread, it's bouncing back with interest. The money they spent on destruction, it has cost them everything. You never had to spend a dime. Because favor isn't bought, it's given. And while their empire collapses under the weight of their own wickedness, you keep rising untouched, unstoppable. This is what happens when you bet against someone divinely protected. They paid the price for your destruction, and in the end, they only destroyed themselves. At first, they had a crowd. People laughing at their jokes, co-signing their lies, encouraging their obsession with you. It was easy to hide in the noise, easy to convince themselves they were right, that they were winning. But energy doesn't lie. The silence is deafening. People have started distancing themselves, slowly at first. Fewer calls, shorter replies, plans that never seem to happen. The ones who once cheered them on now feel uneasy in their presence, because something is off. Their energy is too heavy. The darkness they carry is suffocating. Even their closest allies feel it, the weight of something unseen. People don't want to be around them anymore. Not because of what they did to you. Most of them don't even know the full story. It's deeper than that. It's the way their face always looks drained, the way their laughter sounds forced, the way conversations with them feel like stepping into a sinking pit. They are being avoided, not rejected, avoided. Even the people who were once loyal sense it. This person is cursed. Some don't know why, some don't need to, but instinct tells them, stay away. You don't have to lift a finger. Their own actions, their own energy, their own obsession with you, it's isolating them. This is what happens when you wage war against someone protected. The world turns its back on you. They're left to sit in the darkness they created, alone. They say the truth will set you free, but let's be real. Most people aren't ready for it. For the chosen ones in the obsidian inner order, it's not just about truth. It's the full cosmic transmission, no sugarcoating, no illusions, just raw, unfiltered awakening. Imagine this, weekly group calls with over 450 chosen ones recorded so you can tap in anytime. Our private Discord? It's not just busy, it's electric. Ideas spark, breakthroughs happen. That chosen energy, unstoppable. And for those seeking something deeper, enter Chosen Singles, where soul connections are written in the stars, not in tired pickup lines. And for the seekers of higher knowledge, unlock Modern Manifestation Mechanics, our exclusive grimoire, with 3 powerful chapters available to members. Transform your space into a magnet for abundance. Harness spellcraft for real-world manifestation, and tap into magical forces to accelerate your goals. Plus, gain access to uncensored interviews with real targeted individuals and video specials so raw, the YouTube overlords don't want you to see them. This isn't just a membership, it's a movement. So why keep searching? The path is here. The ascension is now. The link is in the description. They thought they were untouchable. For so long they moved in silence, convinced that the shadows would always protect them. They betrayed you without hesitation, lied on your name without a second thought, wished for your downfall as if it was their right. But the mind doesn't. Forget. It's turning against them. The same thoughts they used to plot against you, now they won't stop replaying, on a loop like a song they can't turn off. Every betrayal, every scheme, every dark intention. There is no escape. They try to distract themselves, but their focus is gone. They try to sleep, but the weight of what they've done won't let them rest. They try to look in the mirror, but what stares back is a stranger, hollow, haunted, unraveling. At first, it was just whispers, small, creeping thoughts in the back of their mind. Now, it's a full-blown war inside their head. They can't silence it. They can't outrun it. They can't bury it under fake smiles and empty conversations. The paranoia is eating them alive. They feel eyes on them when no one is around. They hear echoes of their own lies in the silence. They sense that something is coming for them, because it is, not a curse, not a spell, just consequences. The weight of everything they've done is sitting on their chest, pressing down, growing heavier by the day. They know this is only the beginning. The mind doesn't forget, the soul doesn't lie, and justice doesn't sleep. You are free, because the torment that was meant for you has returned to its sender. They thought they had a team, loyal allies, people who would stand by their side no matter what. They whispered together, plotted together, built a false sense of power by convincing themselves they were untouchable. But snakes don't have loyalty. Their most trusted ally is gone, not with a fight, not with a warning, just gone, vanished, cut ties, fled the sinking ship before it was too late, because even the wicked know when to jump off a cursed vessel. The betrayal stings, because this wasn't just anyone. This was someone who knew all their secrets, someone who knew every move they made, someone who was right beside them when they tried to take you down. They're nowhere to be found. No calls, no texts, no explanations. Just a silent exit, a warning that something bigger is coming. And the ones who remain, they're turning on each other, because the moment their strongest link broke, the illusion of unity shattered. They were never a team. They were never a family. They were a collection of cowards bound by mutual hatred, and without you as their common enemy, they have nothing left but distrust. The accusations are flying, the tension is thick, the paranoia is growing. Who's next to leave? Who's been talking? Who was never really on their side to begin with? They built this army thinking they were unstoppable. But when the pressure hit, the foundation collapsed. You never had to do a thing, because the house always crumbles from within. They can't stand it. Everywhere they turn, they are losing. Their finances drying up, their relationships falling apart, their health deteriorating by the day. You're winning. Everything they tried to block is flooding into your life at an unstoppable speed. The doors they slammed in your face, wide open now. The opportunities they swore you'd never have, sitting right in front of you. The favor they tried to curse, multiplied beyond their comprehension. They watch you from a distance, seething, confused, desperate to know how you keep rising while they sink. But they will never understand, because they thought your success was something they could control. They thought if they stole, sabotaged and slandered, they could delay your destiny. They thought if they cursed your name, they could rewrite what was already written. But favor is not something that can be stolen, and divine protection is not something that can be undone. Every move they made against you only accelerated your rise. Every block they put in place only redirected you to something greater. Every lie they told only built your resilience. Now they are spiraling. No money, no peace, no way to fix what's been broken. You are walking in abundance. The glow they mocked, brighter than ever. The energy they tried to drain, stronger than before. The blessings they swore you'd never touch, overflowing, and the most painful part for them, there is nothing they can do to stop it. This is what happens when you try to fight against someone divinely favored. You lose, and the one you tried to break keeps winning. You will recognize the pattern instantly, the shift in their voice, the carefully chosen words, the pitiful desperation disguised as humility. They will reach out, acting as if they've changed. Suddenly, the arrogance is gone, the smugness evaporated. The same person who once ridiculed you, sabotaged you, hunted you, now speaks in whispers. They sound broken. They talk about sickness, about hardship, about not being the same person anymore. You see the truth. This isn't redemption. This is survival. They are drowning, and you are their last hope. But don't mistake their pleading for sincerity. If you reach out your hand, they will use it to pull you under. Their apologies are rehearsed. Their regret is performative. Their desperation isn't because they've changed. It's because they have no other option. And if you let them in, the cycle begins again. They will pretend to be grateful. They will pretend to be humbled. They will pretend to respect you until the moment they no longer need you. Then, the mask drops. They will stab you in the back just like before. because this isn't a lesson for them. This isn't a wake-up call. This is a gamble. They are betting on your kindness, but you've learned, you've seen the signs, and you will not be their lifeline. Let them sink, because you are not their savior. And they are not your responsibility. They can feel it now, the weight pressing down, the silence that was once comforting now unbearable, no guidance, no protection. Even the unseen forces that once whispered in their favor have turned their backs. Spiritually, they are cut off. Their ancestors, gone. Their power, drained. The safety net they relied on, ripped away. Because the debt is due, and there is no escaping the final judgment. They thought they could outrun it. Thought they could manipulate their way out. Thought they could charm, lie, or fight back. But this isn't human justice. This isn't a court they can deceive. This is universal law. What they sent out has returned, multiplied, unstoppable, absolute. No amount of begging can undo it. No amount of praying can reverse it. No amount of schemes can delay it. It is already written. The energy they played with is consuming them now. Their nights are sleepless. Their days are heavy. Everything they built on deception is crumbling beneath them. They are losing control, and they know it. They are desperate, but it's too late. The protection they mocked you for having, they wish they had it now. The divine justice they laughed at, they are drowning in it. This is what they asked for. You don't have to watch, because this has nothing to do with you anymore. This is their fate, and it is sealed. You were never fighting them. They were fighting against something they could never touch. Every attack, every betrayal, every attempt to bring you down was a desperate reach into the void, grasping at forces beyond their control. They lost the moment they made you their target, because you are untouchable, divinely fortified, spiritually unshakable. This was never about them. This was about your elevation, your awakening, your transformation into something they could no longer access, no longer understand, no longer reach. And while they are sinking beneath the weight of their own destruction, you rise, you keep moving, you keep winning, you keep stepping further into the power they tried to strip from you. They no longer matter. Their downfall is a consequence, not a victory. Because you were never meant to stay in their world, tangled in their chaos, responding to their schemes. You were meant to transcend. And now you do. Let them fight their own shadows. You have far greater things ahead. Share your experience. Have you felt the shift? Have you watched them collapse under their own weight? Let it be known, divine justice is real.